Hi guys, I'm Aaron Boyle. I'm the UK Flesh and Blood National Champion, and welcome to my first video. In this video, we're going to start taking a look at the Living Legend format. With the World Championships in Philadelphia about 5 weeks away, we really haven't got a lot of information on this format. Certainly, we don't have the tournament results that we would normally let define the meta for us and then work out how to tackle that meta. And that just means jumping in, trying some new decks, and seeing what we can come up with. So in this series, I'm going to take a deck, give you a deck tech, and then run it through a few games just to show you how it works and what it's capable of. So first, let's jump into the little bit of data we do have. So this is the first week of PQ results after the ban announcement. Um, so what we can see here clearly straight away is Ruin Blades are dominating. Of the what we presume is 8 tournament results, 5 of them are Ruin Blades, and it's 4 different Ruin Blades. So it's just showing that that class is just so deep and has answer to like so many other decks and problems in the format. We also have Kano, who is always going to be a threat when you add all these new draw twos back into the format. He's really going to gain an edge. Dash that has an insane combo deck, and if you draw those high octanes in the right order, you can really get people. And then classic Starvo, Bravo star of the show. Yeah, always going to be dominant in the format, especially with a lot of Ruin Blades. I think he lines up quite nicely into that matchup. And I believe though this was Jacob Clements, so always a fan of the Starvo. So let's jump into the deck we're going to talk about. So it's Florian, which may seem quite odd, as you may have noticed he was one of the Rune Blades that didn't appear on the previous page. But Florian's ability innately is quite strong. Like Viserai has to play Mordred Tide to get Florian's effect. And Florian is probably the best stacking rune blade. So if we want to attack the format from a different angle and not be, attacks and non-attacks and not play into Warmongers. Florian really offers us that potential, especially with the card Sceptre of Pain. This obviously banned in CC because it wasn't designed to work with AMP, and obviously now it's getting stronger results in LL. So let's go through the deck, or let's go through the strategy of the deck. So the plan of the deck is to turn Florian online. So you have to get 8 cards decomposed over the course of the game. We then stack up a bunch of ruin chants using cards like Read the Ruins, um, Arcane Life Seeds. We've also got the Thistlebloom Life, so you can play a Sigil of Solace, and then this to make 4 to 5 ruin chants. And then when we've got, say, 15 to 20 ruin chants, we pop Bloodchief Skeletor and Germinate, and X equals the number of ruin chants we have in play. And because of Florian's ability, even though this is XX, we basically make ruin chants equal to the number of ruin chants we have and gain half the amount of life. So if you have 20 ruin chants, you'll make 20 more and gain 10 life, basically putting most games out of reach for anyone. After that, it's just as simple as sending any attack, and the 45 ruin chants will just kill your opponent before they even get a chance to block the attack out. We also, because we never attack our opponent, we turn off all their defensive capabilities. So, cards like Reduce the Ruin Chant, Haunting Rendition, they all become dead cards in our opponent's deck. And you still have the classic issue for a lot of decks when they're siding into someone like Florian, although I think it's a bit more obvious in the LL format of they don't know if you're going to be a very aggressive Florian or a Ruin Chant stacking Florian, and they can definitely make the mistakes of playing D-Reacts or not playing D-Reacts. So let's talk about how you come online in this deck. So there's only 12 cards that let you decompose. 3 Felling of the Crowns, and we often only want to send these very early in the game. It's okay to lose a couple of Ruin Chants on turn 2 or 3, but once we've got like 10 plus Ruin Chants, we probably aren't able to send Felling of the Crown because we'll just lose too much value, and it'll take us too long to get online. And then we've also got the full suite of 9 Rootbound Carapace, and that really is our key to getting online. We want to do the classic decompose of 2 Earth cards and then 3 Earth cards, 3 Earth cards. So yeah, it's a lot about stacking up our graveyard in the right order and making sure we get there. Going through other key conclusions of the deck, we've got a lot of defensive cards. So Reduce to Ruin Chant. This makes 2 Ruin Chants when it blocks with our ability. And also there's key times in games where you can do this first and then this. So you will still make the 2 Ruin Chants. Our attacks come in a suite. So we've got 6 Autumn Touches, Felling of the Crown, and ninth blade of the Blood Oath, and I've definitely had to send Fruits of the Forest Blue before to kill people in the end game. So yeah, that is the main deck. We're stacking 54 card main deck, and this is our generic armor suite we run into most things. So luckily with Sceptre, it's one-handed. We get to use the offhands, which is really nice. Face Purgatory, always a great card. Adds a lot of value through the game. So something some of the like newer players I play with talk about is how you always have to overblock with Face Purgatory. So generally they'll be sending an attack for 6 and you have to block 7 or 8 and you feel like you lose value that way. But what you got to think about is an average card in Flesh and Blood, and that this is in the CC format before you even get into the LL format. It's probably worth 3 value. So they're losing a card and you're gaining a card, which is an extra 6 value on top. So even though you might be losing 1 or 2 value on the block, you are gaining a 6 value point swing, which is always really strong. So scrolling down to some of our sideboard tech options, we've got quite a lot of tech in this deck. So obviously we spoke about previously Warmonger's Diplomacy and how that hurts Rune Blades. Florian, weirdly, the one Rune Blade that doesn't get hurt because you don't care about attacking most of the time. So yeah, we play this to slow those decks down and not let something like Duskblade get out of hand against us. It resets it every time you play it. So like normally Rune Blades could put that into a defensive deck, but this card really stops that. Arcane Compliance and Amethyst Tiara. Plus, I would say Diedric Carapace and Null Rune Boots are all tech for the Kano matchup. Yeah, Kano can be really tricky. He really struggles with Amethyst Tiara, especially once you've got 10 or so Ruin Chants now and you just continue to stack. Unfortunately, it's very hard for us to get online in this matchup for our abilities, so we just have to play as a blank text hero and get to as many Ruin Chants as possible. But this really stops Kano comboing, and when we attack them finally, we also have Arcane Compliance, so that will also keep them in check. We then have a combo of Sonata Galaxia, which lets us search out for any aura, and Ruin Blood Barrier. And this makes like 4 to 5 Ruin Chants when it comes out and gives us an extra life buffer. It is tricky though, because if your opponent manages to send a lot of turns, they can wipe out your Ruin Chants that turn. But remember, it just buys you a lot of time to get online and find that combo to eventually kill them. So very strong combo of 2 cards. We can also Sonata Galaxia for our Ruin Blood incantations in our main deck. So yeah, plenty of ways to get there. Channel the Tranquil Domain. We bring this in against Prisms and any illusionists that are going to go aura heavy against us. Yeah, and we can also use it sometimes into like Viscerai and Ruin Gate Chain just to slow them down and remove those enchantments from the aura, sorry, from play. And also it's a, it's an Earth 3 block, so we're never that sad to have it in our deck. We've got Deadwood Dirge for when we need to combo out a little bit faster into some of the aggro decks. Yeah, this just helps us get there. It gives us the 2 action, combos nicely with straight into Sonata Galaxia, which then you can send a Sceptre or something at the end of. And then finally, our last tech card is Chains of Eminence, and you may be asking why this is in the deck. This is actually in the deck for Zen State. So against Zen, we can wait for our Chains of Eminence to come up, block them out as long as possible, and then pop this into play and buy that extra turn that we need to, buy the time we need for them not to be able to Zen State. So they can either Zen State in response to this, at which point we won't send the attack, or they can not Zen State in response to it, at which point we can send the attack, and then that way we can kill them with all of our Ruin Chants. Yeah, meta-wise, I think this deck is incredibly strong into Starvo. It's very hard for Florian to lose that matchup. It's pretty good into Chain and Briar. Those 2 Rune Blades are like quite favorable. I presume Aurora is, although I haven't played any practice games into Aurora. But Viscerai, on the other hand, can be quite tricky. He can also flip into an OTK deck. And when they start playing like that, it's hard for us to go online first, so we lose that bit of an advantage. And yeah, we just end up getting stacked with a lot of Ruin Chants. Prism's very difficult, but it's quite easy for us to fatigue Dash, especially if they're not running null time zone. Some of the versions are, some aren't, but if they null time zone our root band Carapace, the game can go a lot longer for us and be a lot more difficult. But yeah, because we're so defensive, it's almost quite reasonable that we fatigue Dash. So let's jump into some games and see how it goes. Okay, so game into Viscerai. We definitely want our AB. This is good. We're going to stick with AB1 for this matchup. We definitely want our Warmongers in just to slow them down. probably do want the Ruin Blade. Nah, it's not amazing. We're actually going to play this card. This will put their auras to the bottom of the deck, make things a bit more awkward for them. And it ups our Earth count by another 3 cards, so um, not 100% sure on the Viscerai matchups, not one I've tested a lot. So let's see how this goes. Opponent's on the play. He's got the Duskblade. So Duskblade is really tricky for us, and it's one of the reasons we rely so heavily on Warmongers in this matchup to reset the Duskblade and hopefully combo off reasonably quick. He's got AB2, which is quite a lot. Yeah, well, let's find out how that goes for us. Okay, it's a very like slow turn for our opponent. We're just gonna use this Haunting, block the 2 damage, get a little Ruin Chant out of it. Okay, the chain's close, so we're safe to Sigil here. Just gain a free card cycle on turn 1, never bad. And now we get to see the power of Channel the Tranquil Domain. I'd had to check if this card had Go again. It was that's how little I've played with it. So get this straight out. Get rid of his Malefic. That will actually stop a lot of damage from Viscerai because these really add up. And then I think we'll just ping him for 1. I don't overly want to Arsenal this. That's the issue. I actually think we're just going to pass. We will Arsenal this. This card can be quite good later on. Okay, this is another nice turn too, and having that 1 out means we can now just safely make a reduce to Ruin Chant. Wouldn't hate getting the Germinate in the arsenal. We do need to get a bunch of Earth cards in our graveyard, so I think we're just going to freely run out all of these this turn. Okay, this is an interesting one, especially if he's not planning to pop it this turn. I presume he is. Viscerai is certainly having the best results of any of the Rune Blades right now, which is interesting because I think he was probably, I guess he LL'd before Aurora, but of all the Rune Blades, he was the last one to LL. But I think he's probably one of the more difficult ones to sequence, and there's so many interesting lines with Become the Arcanite and such that, yeah, he really is just quite tricky to play. Okay, when this attacks, create Ruin Chants equal to the number of non-attack actions you've played this turn. If 3 or more create this way, against Go again. Sure. So classic Viscerai making a ton of Ruin Chants. We're just going to take the damage here. Yep, so this is Overpower, Go again. I'm just going to give him the Reduce to Ruin Chant. I think if he sends the Duskblade as his last card, oh, we can't actually send the Duskblade, so we must be getting something out of his arsenal. No, he's just ending the turn. Okay. Well, we want to choose one of his. Yep. What are we going to do here? If we channel the Millennium Tree, what we can actually do is send this and keep this around, which is quite a fun thing to do. We might want to get this in our arsenal now, out of our arsenal now, though. So, yeah, let's do that. So, we're just going to gain 1 life. Pretty boring on that one. And then we're going to ping him with this, keeping our channel the Tranquil Domain around. This is going to be, he's going to be really struggling to create any of his real board state that let him get real value. Yeah, and then just tuck this Germinate away for a better day. Ooh, the Felling of the Crown. We've only got 1 Earth card. The nice thing about playing against the Rune Blades is they like to break the chain a lot, so you can block with Earth cards. then they break the chain, and then you can get things like channel the Tranquil Domain down. Not always the case, but yeah, it can be handy. Ooh, we got Mordred Tide. Okay, this could be a very big turn from our opponent. Yep, Deadwood Dirge coming through. Okay. So we're definitely not letting that Arknight hit us. We'll take all the Ruin Chance, which is a lot of damage, but... And then... Guess we just give him the 5 here. Tuck another one of these Ruin Chants. Just this game has a lot of value actually. It's quite an interesting card. And unfortunately we are going to have to send a Felling here. But it's just important to get our Decompose online. Let's pitch this and send the Germinate he won't know about to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, should have, in theory, actually blocked 3 more Ruin Chants last turn. So we definitely missed 3 there. Wonder why he's playing Sutcliffe Suede Hives over something like Spellbound Creepers. It might be card ownership in real life, or it could be the... Oh, didn't realize this would not be coming in with Decompose. Presumed I had an action in my graveyard. Definitely a couple of misplays this game so far. And we've let our opponent get some value here that he wouldn't normally get. Okay. Just a nice little non-attack spell. Because we want to get some more Earth cards in our graveyard, we're actually just going to take these Ruin Chants because we prefer to block. We're going to pass and just root bound this. We can decompose now because we've put some extra Earth cards in our graveyard. So this one, and this one. What's interesting is he hasn't managed to get his Duskblade that high this game. Okay, here we go. The Duskblade's starting to come through now. We are going to block one of this, which means again we missed some damage earlier in the turn, and then we'll give him the Germinate. We'll just play this. It's kind of nice playing this in LL with Sceptre because you actually gain life, unlike when you have Reaping Blade and you're just kind of stuck only playing for 2 Ruin Chants. Just gonna check our Earth count. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards we can decompose. They're all Earth cards, which is nice. We've got a Failing here, which we can send again because we're not too heavy on Ruin Chants right now. So it's probably just a cheeky block with Ruin Blood Incantation, send a Felling, gain 2 life, but more than likely we'll have to actually block some cards. Snuff Out, this is an annoying one. Doesn't have Go Again right now, but we will almost certainly block this one out. Okay, so we give him the 3 block here, 2 block here, and we'll have the send the Felling back for the disruption. Hoping our opponent doesn't have another reduce to Ruin Chant to make some more value, but yeah, just the way this game's fallen, often you only want to send 1 Felling early. got 6 cards decomposed, so our next card gets us online, and that's when the deck really like just goes full speed. Yep, he had another Reduce the Rune Chant. Kind of makes sense. Like people don't 100% know you're going to be a fatigue deck, so well, not really a fatigue deck, a combo deck. So they often bring in some defensive cards like they would against normal Rune Blades, and then it's often wasted cards, which definitely gives you an edge in with this deck. And it was one of the reasons LSS originally said they were going to ban Sceptre, because it wasn't fair on opponents not knowing what's happening. So we know this turn we're going to go online with the Root Bound. We're probably willing to block these and just play this next turn. So yeah, let's let the damage come through. And this is 1. Just going to chuck this one down. Unsurprisingly, Felling is one of those cards we don't hate keeping in our hand. Yep, so it was Duskblade. We will actually block one of these with this. We'll take one here. And then we'll use the Root Bound. Keep 2 Earth cards in our graveyard for Decompose. Let's not try and mess that one up again. And now I think we would rather just gain the 1 health rather than risk either sending damage at our opponent or just doing gloves. Having the extra health might be relevant towards the end of the game, and we want to guarantee making Ruin Chance rather than sending this where he can AB it, because if we draw our reduced, we want to be able to play it. So this hand we're going to try and block out 3 cards, save this, and then we get another 4 Ruin Chance on the flashback. So there goes the Malefic. That was 6 value for our opponent, which is quite good. So 5 is an awkward number for us, but this is going to block 3. This blocks 2. It's not the absolute worst. Again, we'll try and keep 2 Earth cards around as long as possible once we're online. So we're going to take these. So now we have the interesting question of, this is 5 damage, so do we want to block 3 extra damage, or do we want to get 2 damage and 2 Ruin Chance? I think we're actually at the point where we would rather make the Ruin Chance. We want to like turn the corner as quick as possible in this matchup. And taking the 3 extra damage, just to add 2 extra value on the swing back is going to be quite good, especially when you combine it with Skelata. And then we can get the extra kind of value off the Germinate. So like that's quite hard to calculate, but very important. So just ticking up to 8 Ruin Chance. Not really sure. Right now we're just looking for cards that generate Ruin Chance. So we've got the Channel Millennium Tree plus Sceptre combo, and this is probably the time in the game where we really want to reset this Duskblade. So it's probably going to be a block out turn from me, and then just play this Warmongers. Reset the Duskblade down, slow our opponent down a lot, and then that'll give us a lot more time to get to where we want to be. It's annoying because I think we've given up at least 1 tree, maybe both trees already. Oh no, I pitched that earlier, didn't I, to the double scepter, so we've actually got all our trees left. So yeah, even more confident now that I do want to give this tree up. Okay, our opponents destroyed their first piece of AB, but luckily they've got 2. They must be wanting to do something quite powerful here with that. Okay, he's getting some resource off Skelata. Oh. We're not going to block any ruin chance. So it does have go again, but I think we just do a safe little block here. And then we, like I said before, just set up the Warmongers, reset this Duskblade down to 0, which really resets the game for us. And this card being unbanned is one of the reasons now that before Runeblades were particularly bad matchups for this because of Duskblade, and now having Warmongers unbanned, unrestricted, really just opens up a lot of windows for us. We're going to choose Peace because obviously we're still in the just generate as many rune chants as possible. Unfortunately, this hand won't make a lot, but normally, and I believe he chose... Oh, he chose Peace as well, so he's not going to come at us. He's going to probably make it set up quite a lot. Just going to check. I know we've blocked with 1 Germinate. We've got 1 in our arsenal. It could be a time to do a mid-range Germinate. Okay, our opponent's really setting up for next turn with the Crown, but now they have no AB and just the Suede Hides left. That is a very uneventful turn for our opponent. We will make this. Then I think we might just be in an Everbloom Life position where we Everbloom Life. I don't think we want to Germinate for 4, though we're kind of aware our opponent's coming out with something big after they reset Mordred Tide and Rune Ranger Swarm to the top of their deck. Yeah, let's just gain 1 life. We'll see what we end up putting back on the bottom. Let's get another Warmongers. That card's never bad in this matchup. And then we'll just pass the turn back. There's the other Germinate. So we could have gone for it there with the cheeky one, but didn't think it was worth risking it. So this hand, we probably want to block with Rootbound, block with Germinate, block with Reduced, make this again, go to 12 Ruin Chance, and yeah, just keep the game nice and slow. We'll actually be at 14 Ruin Chance because of this Reduced to Ruin Chant, and 16 because of the Rune Blood incantation. We're probably waiting 2 more turns, and once this gets to, it's made a 6 value, we're then going to go for it. I'm okay taking 1 here, not too worried about that. Our opponent ending the turn there is a little bit strange, but that's okay. We will just read the Ruin Chants. I think we're happy with turns where they just make 2 Ruin Chants and pass back. I guess he's drawn the Mordred Tide now. He only drew 1 card on the previous turn, so I think he probably had 1 future cards. Now I'm expecting a very big turn this turn. But we'll just play as defensively as possible. Unfortunately, we can't use our Face Purgatory, which is generally on a Mordred turn is when we'd really like to use it. Okay, it's a big attack coming straight away. And here, I think we just give Reduce to Ruin Chant. Happily take the 2 damage, and then just keep the extra block in our hand. We'll actually block 1 of these. 0 this. I've realized we're actually going to go to 20 Ruin Chants, which means we can now Germinate next turn, set ourselves to 40 Ruin Chants, and our opponent would have to have an amazing turn, because we also get to gain 10 life. So we're going to do this for 20. I guess we want one of these just to pump our defenses. That's 40 ruin chance. Pass it back to our opponent. So we've got the 9th blade, we're at 28 health. We've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 block as well. So he would have to do 43 damage this turn on his 5-card hand. With these cards also are 5 blocks, so we actually have another 4 health. That's 47 damage our opponent would need to do here. And leading with Malefic really isn't going to be a 47 damage turn. Deathly Duo. When Deathly Duo attacks, if an attack action card was pitched to play, it gains +2. If a non-attack action was pitched, create 2 rune chance. Cool. It's the one thing about Viscerai, I missed his kind of height while I was away from the game, and he's definitely got some more interesting attacks than he had previously. But classic Runeblade, a lot of text on their cards, which is one of the reasons that so many Runeblades have allowed, in my opinion. So just blocking out the 4 here. We're going to submit this. 42. Send this, and we get the classic. There appear to be enough rune chance to win, ending the game to avoid a crash. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let's jump into another game. Okay, guys, we've got another game here. Looks like our Viscerai's queued into us again. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So we're definitely going to want these Warmongers. I was liking this card in this matchup. Some testing this afternoon has made me less happy about it. So we're just going to play this. Let's do this and let's see how it goes. Okay, he's got the gold, which means he's probably got the cash in his deck. It allows Viscerai to have some really powerful turns. Just cycle our sigil, get a little bit of life lead. This might be a Send Enormous Touch just to get some Earth cards in our graveyard. Also means we can kind of bank this Warmongers for next turn. That being said, I don't know if we want to push 2 Rootbound Carapaces to our graveyard, but it is a long time before we can get them online. Interesting opener here. Okay, let's make this. Let's play the Warmongers. We're going to choose peace because we're, peaceful guys. And then we'll Arsenal this red Rootbound. Let's see how it goes. So our opponent also went peace, which means they're in for a nice setup turn here, no doubt. That's a lot of Malefics. If they have a Mordred Tide next turn, we could be in big trouble. Okay, they just actually set up even more. 6 Ruin Chance already in play. We're going to do this. I think we'll do the classic. Make one of these. Then cast this for 2. Put R into play. And sometimes it just feels like Viscerai is doing things that we're not even close to being able to do with our deck. Yep, here comes the Mordred. This is going to be a huge turn. We're going to skip all the Ruin Chants because we need to get Earth cards to our graveyard, so we're just going to do blocks like this. Okay, so our opponent's going to gosh. Interesting, they're just ending their turn there. Yeah, that's fine. Just gonna zap them for 2. That could have been a lot worse, to be honest. Guess we have played all 3 sigils now, so we have had a 9 life lead over through the course of this game already. Currently only sitting on 2 Earth cards, so I was thinking about ditching this to negate some of these 16 Ruin Chants that they're stacking. Well, we may have to anyway. They just hit us for 5 with a Sonata off the Skeletor, so again, this should probably be a huge turn. We're just going to take all 5. This is all these Ruin Chants. So this is the kind of moment when we eject our any strategy about kind of trying to set up, you know, some kind of negation or decompose. We're just gonna try and save as much life as possible. And then we're gonna skip all Ruin Chants. This is coming in. Just gonna block it with a clean 4. And we've got another 4 in our arsenal to block. Skip all the Ruin Chants. And then block another 2 here. Don't overly need to give up some armor, but we might as well protect some life points. Alright, now we're gonna play this. Realizing that our opponent could have gone even bigger on that turn with this Vexing Quill hand. It was another at least 2 damage. And another card potentially off his Sonata Arcanix. It's quite interesting. We potentially could have died if he just full sent all in, which is kind of scary. Okay, our opponent's done a little unwind here. It's totally fine. When practicing, it's just best to let your opponent make the best plays possible. Okay. Well, I think he's made the best play possible here. Um, yeah, we are going to have to null rune a bunch this turn. So the one thing, because he's Mordreded, we're going to actually have to use our headpiece to get rid of this last card, so he can't send these at us this turn with such little life, which is great for us. Stacking some extra chance. We're just going to gain a little bit more life. And even more life. So we're very close to turning the corner here. We probably needed a decompose card to get our well grounded to block out a couple more attacks. Or a couple more of these rune chants. But I think this is probably all she wrote in a second. We can only block out 6 of these. Effectively, we can block out an extra couple, but with him sending attacks as well. And there you go. I could have blocked there and just saved a little bit, but in all honesty, once he sends Rosetta that turn, we are dead, so just speed things up. So that's what the Viscerite does when it really pops off. As you can see, threatened 56 damage on that turn, dealt 42. So that is the kind of value that you have to deal with in LL sometimes. But also what makes the format great, I think. Just very different from CC. Okay, guys, I'm here for one more game. We've gone into Dash IO, which is one of the most powerful decks in the format. Very combo driven, super fun to play against, just because they're doing things that are so obscene. I'm going to do the similar kind of sideboard package as usual. Just going for a little 2-2-2 split of Runeblood Incantation, Sonata, and Runeblade Barrier. See how we get on. So we've had them go first. Fortunately, oh yeah, they have loaded in with multiple things. This really is the combo deck, this Armor Suite. Rarely seen in CC, but can allow you to do some of the most powerful things possible in this format. Okay, lucky for us, our opponent is sending attacks. That's going to let us cycle a couple of these Earth cards. We're definitely getting this one in. Let's get this in as well. I think we're just going to... I think we can presume that our opponent isn't going to... Yeah, there's a Tekla core. And they are coming in for 2 more damage, so we will use the back half. Oops. Of Haunting Rendition, so we can get a little rune chant, a little bit of value on the back end there, which is always nice. Powerful turn 1 from our opponent, though. Nicely set up. Probably uses this backup core in their turn. But we have hit the Channel Millennium Tree, so this lets us generate a lot of rune chants quickly. And Dash doesn't have the most health of any of the heroes, so dealing 4 to her straight away is not bad. We'll probably just have to do a lot less arcane damage throughout the course of the game now. We're probably looking at around 15 rune chants to combo out. Okay, this Warmonger is one of the key cards in the matchup. The combo relies on items plus attacks, so we can really slow them down. See if we can decompose yet. We can't decompose yet, so I think we do just throw this red root-bound carapace in front though. It's likely that they have to close the chain at some point in this combo, so yeah, let's see how it goes. We're not playing around Pulse Wave Harpoon, which could be dangerous, but in all honesty, we probably can't afford to play around it right now. They have broken the chain for us, so that's given us our 2 Earth cards, plus our non-Earth card in the graveyard. Here's a boom grenade, so they are planning to go all in this turn. They've cranked it. Did that come off the top? Yeah, that looks like it came off the top. And they've got the system reset. Oh, they've hit the backup protocol, so now they get to protect the boom grenade as well. We're a lot higher on health, which is unfortunate because we'd have liked to use our shield here. I think we just have to embrace this boom grenade is going to hit us over the next 2 turns. And kind of just hope it isn't a pulse wave harpoon. So let's take the damage. It was a pulse wave harpoon. That is frustrating. But it has defense 3, so they're not able to put it on the chain. We're just going to take another 4, so we've dropped lower. Yeah, we would like to... I think we're just going to use this armor so we've got an odd break point next turn. Yeah, we really would like to get some more rune chance for this channel, the Millennium Tree, but I think we're going to use Warmonger's Diplomacy and just really set them up for no items. Just give us that extra little bit of breathing room over the next couple of turns to get our Decompose online. So this backup's giving our opponent the chance to cycle out their non-attack actions. There goes a Boom Grenade, a Tome of Fiendel. So they'll pick War, and as per usual, we will go on the path of peace, which I've always said is Florian's way. Okay, so now we've got rid of the Teklo core, which is nice. So here we've got enough to go and fetch another piece next turn. Let's have a little think. So if we keep these 2 in our hand, we've got a reasonably good turn. So let's do a 3 block. Let's get ready to tank a bit of damage. Okay. And our graveyard now is just full of Earth cards, which is really nice. Okay, we didn't manage to get the card out of our arsenal and start decomposing, but honestly, we weren't going to arsenal anything this turn anyway, so it's not the worst for us. And now we can set up the Rune Blood Barrier. Just buy us that little bit more room. Yeah, we'll pass the turn back over to our opponent. Okay, here I think we have enough cards to double decompose, which is very nice. So this will be a lot of blocking for us this turn. Okay, here's the trickiest card in the deck, Tome of Fiendel, out of the arsenal. So he's gained a lot more life, which makes our combo gonna have to go higher. But yeah, we'll see how this turn goes. Here's the High Octane. So this might actually be the full combo turn now. It was when he cracks this, we know that they're going all in and they're ready to come for us. So we've got a bit of life buffer this turn as well for if he combos off. We've got this extra 10 now from these rune chants and that Rune Blade Barrier. So now we'll use our Arsenal Rootbound. The first one, obviously, we can always decompose 2, keep ourselves nice and safe. Our opponent is sitting on these 2 action points, so this Cerebellum is going to be really powerful on this turn. Okay. Max fee would be pretty deadly. Okay, we're gonna use another root bound here. This time we're going to get all 3 Earth cards, so we've got one more Decompose to be online, which is nice. Okay, sometimes when you're playing online, your opponent shows you cards that you probably shouldn't see. We're just going to presume we haven't seen it and not block in a special way to get around it. So managed to keep our life total nice and high there. And the Rune Blood barrier disappears, which is really good for us. This Fruits isn't going to do much in our hand. It's probably the 2 life we probably value slightly more than the 1 ping. So we're just going to use the ability on Fruits, discard it, pass the turn back to our opponent. Now this Optical Monocle really lets our opponent start looking for what they want on top of their deck. It's a very tricky card to deal with. Yep, they're just searching through. They're able to get a great card and set it up with Cerebellum. They're probably looking for an item on top of their deck right now just to have an extra action point. But they've gone bottom, 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 bottom. And then this last one. Oh, they're playing another one out. Here comes the High Octane. This came off the top of the deck with a dash ability, so it doesn't actually give an extra action point, but this giving the extra action points will really supercharge our opponent. This is definitely going to be a face purgatory turn for us, I think, now especially that the armor's being cracked. Yeah, our opponent's probably drawn a system reset. They're going to be able to search for all the cards they want on top of their deck with these 2. Here we go, here's the first one. So this one's a really tricky one to want to face Purgatory, but I think we have to. We're giving up a lot, so we're going to block 10 into this. But as I said earlier in the video, we're going to gain 6 extra value by him discarding, me drawing, and because this is the combo turn for our opponent, we really want to make sure they get as few cards as possible, and this last card in their hand could be a key one they need. So we've got Spark of Genius. That's actually one of the best cards we could have hit, and that's super important for us because it doesn't allow them to go and search for another Cerebellum, have an extra draw over the course of his turn, and it's really going to stymie their combo a little bit. They're now going to go looking for various combo pieces, but all 3 Sparks gone means that one of the cards that could really power up this turn isn't available to our opponent. Okay, so we know about this. This can't be put on the chain. Unfortunately, he is going to be able to. So we're going to choose one card. We'll just choose the Sigil of Solace our opponent can't choose. We're going to pass and play this Rootbound Carapace to put ourselves online with the combo. Okay, our opponent's got 3 action points left because of the first High Octane, so he's looking for a good card to draw off Cerebellum. I'm not sure how many max fees the combo deck plays. It might only be 1 or 2. But we are going to get shot a lot regardless of the Symbiosis shot. Yeah, this is one we just have to take. And here we're in a niche position where we could play this Germinate, just gain a couple of life, gain a couple of ruin chance, and keep a Sigil in our arsenal. We've only seen, this is the first one that we've seen that we can play, but But I think we're just going to play Sigil and Arsenal to Germinate. They don't have a lot of disruption for us. And they're scary turns. They've got one high octane left. We're just going to check that hasn't been boosted away. Yeah, it hasn't been boosted away yet. So um, we've got a little bit of leeway there. What's interesting is we would have joined the Germinate off the top. Obviously, this would have been a higher, riskier play, but very powerful if it had connected. Our opponent playing Twin Drive. They didn't double boost, so we're just gonna pass and then use this reduce to ruin chant and take 1 damage. Up to 12 ruin chants. Okay, we're gonna block 3. It's a high chance our opponent has. Well, I guess we'll see. One of the things they can do here is grab back Pulse Wave Harpoon. 4 action points again for our opponent. So this is the 3rd and final high octane. Which, if we live this turn at this much health, we're probably in very good position to survive this game. Is going to get 2 armor off me, just because I want to have that extra 1 block. Our opponent's only got 16 cards left in their deck, so you can see the actual raw power of this deck now and how many cards they can churn through very quickly. So that was a lot of damage to take, but we are actually going to pop our Skeletor this turn. Down with our opponent having only 14 cards left and a lot of their power cards gone, us gaining 8 life here could be the key to winning this game. So we get to play this for 16. And we're actually going to make 1 set of these. That will make all of our cards block for 5 next turn. And, you know, we've got 32 damage banked there. It will still take us a while to kill our opponent, but yeah, we're kind of in the attrition phase of the game now. Although this Felling of the Crown next turn might actually be enough. Comes the system reset. So this will give him the full optical monocle reset, which is 5 more scries to look through the deck for the right answers. And that's caused our opponent to just take a turn off and relax. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to cast a Germinate from our arsenal here for 8. That'll give us, again, a lot more life, and it will actually give us the ruin chance we need to finish this game. We're going to make 1 set of these again. So now we've got the 40 ruin chance. We need to go over the top of the health. Obviously, they've still got AB, but with the felling coming in as well at the end, that's another 8 damage. We can also make another 4 ruin chance here. So it's working out great for us. And you can tell our opponent's starting to run out of real threats when they're coming in with the blue zipper hits. That being said, we will take our opportunity to decompose out some of these cards. And just keep our life total. 26 health is going to be very hard for them to kill us from here. It's incredible to see the raw power of this deck, though. It's so different than the CC version, which is a lot more attacks, relying on that max speed to finish the game. This one's really gaining all those action points and killing you with Symbiosis Shot for 10 at the end of turns, which is brutal. Our opponents played their backup protocols, their high octanes, their sparks. Yeah, a lot of the cards we're afraid of are all gone now. But Cerebellum, that can still lead to a powerful turn. And Teoma Fiendo. Very impressed if our opponent manages 31 damage this turn. Oh, this system reset's going to be nice. Going to get to double crank these. Go to 3 action points. Nope. I guess our opponent, if we have a quick look through their deck, didn't have enough damage left. So that's the games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and come back next time for yeah, our next hero we'll try out in the LL format.